Snapchat
Are
is
you back on
definitely,
Snapchat?
I'm on Snapchat here and there, but
We're
it's kind
not
of like,
friends.
it's
Oh, is
not
it
like,
nudes? It's
it's,
nudes.
welcome to the Allegedly podcast with your hosts, Katie and Dakota.
What is good with it?
What it is. Oh, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what? I'm just feeling free. I'm feeling loosey goosey. She's had a glass of wine or two. She's ready to pop off.
I've just had a cerveza or two, so we're both just feeling ourselves, having a good little night, wanting to get into a little pod talk.
A little late night pod talk that's released during the morning. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope everyone's pouring up a little Momo.
No matter what time you're listening to, it's always a good time for a pod and a little drinky drink.
It's like you may be at work right now, but like pour one up.
So tonight or today or this morning, what we're going to be talking about is the evolution of social media, a little bit of the timeline. Where did we start? What was our journey like? It's like the Oregon Trail of social media. Have we survived? Who died?
Who
Did
has
we get
cholera?
who got bitten by a snake?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I feel like
Because it's changed.
social media has changed so much, and it's crazy to think that like we are kind of the pioneers,
We really were,
which is
you
just
know.
very very appropriate, very on brand for the Oregon Trail theme. So I think we can start with like our first social media account experience.
Absolutely. Let's go right into it. I mean, I'm assuming both of ours was MySpace, right?
Yeah, but I think what I was also thinking was like MySpace slash Tumblr.
Okay, so I feel you. Let's set Tumblr aside for a second. Because I didn't,
Absolutely.
that's a
I
whole
got real
nother thing.
excited.
Okay, so like my first ever relationship with social media was in MySpace. We loved
Mm-hmm.
MySpace. It was fun. It was cool. It definitely fit the time, like the age that we were into with the whole friends thing, where you had to like pick them and display them and rank them and all that nonsense. Um,
Absolutely.
but other than that, like other than being engaged with friends, I don't remember kind of the content that I shared. I wasn't a part of any groups, but I thought the groups were kind of a big thing. I did remember just kind of like posting a song, changing my background, and then changing my top friends. But that was like the extent of my memory as far as what MySpace was about.
Well, the craziest thing about MySpace is like we were all 13 and we were like coding shit. Like
I know. Isn't
it's
that
just
crazy?
yeah, and I mean like I couldn't do it today. Well, I mean on my blog I technically do a little bit on the HTML side when I'm trying to do formatting, but like we were out there coding, we were doing like the brackets and the and hearts or whatever to put a little
Mm-hmm.
heart, before emojis were on and popping. So I feel like we were all just super tech savvy and super smart. But I know whenever I first made MySpace, and I want to know if you were in the same boat, like I hid it from my parents. They did not know I had a MySpace.
For sure, for sure.
When they found out I, had a mental breakdown, I think I maybe like deleted it, or like I told them I deleted it and then I really
Mm-hmm.
didn't. Like it was just like freaking crazy.
Well, see, it may be jumping the gun, but I kind of don't think my parents were in the loop of MySpace. Like, I think that I mean, very familiar with the whole hiding of social media from your parents at that time, like when everything was becoming like your first ones. But I don't think they were in
Mhm.
touch with MySpace, but definitely Facebook. Like, Facebook was where it seemed like it was kind of like your close circle where you added them, and then all of a sudden you kind of started adding everyone where into where I had like a thousands of friends, but I
Yeah.
definitely made sure that like my parents were not able to view it at one point.
See, I felt like Facebook was, whenever I got a Facebook, I felt like that was like the safe space. Like my parents were okay with the Facebook, to my memory, which is awful. So I could be
Hmm.
wrong, but like I was friends with my parents on Facebook. They were like tracking what I was doing, but like Mama Hen did not need to have a MySpace ranking her top 8. And
No, for sure.
the thing would have been like whether my sister pissed her off one day or I did, like she would have been changing that top 4. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like she would be like, "This is where you lie, Katie girl." Um, and I don't know that my ego could have taken that, but I think MySpace was like really just a wild time because there was like poser accounts, so like fake celebrities, like fake Miley accounts or
Mm,
fake like whoever accounts. I remember that on my personal MySpace, like one time a Nick Jonas account added me and I literally thought it was the real Nick Jonas because I was so engulfed in Nick Jonas. I made him a birthday cake for his 16th birthday. Like she did not hold back on her love for Nick J. So he quote unquote added me and I was like messaging back and forth with him, telling him, "Hey, I'm gonna be at your concert on like July 11th or whatever shit." And he was like, "Oh, like come meet me," all these things, and I literally thought it was the real him.
mm-mm.
And then when the concert came and went, and there was no like Nick J and Katie girl getting together, the depression set in.
We're sorry about that. Yeah, for I don't know why I don't really remember much about it. It's kind of like I think my extent of that was is extremely basic. Like I wasn't getting too deep involved in the MySpace.
Right. Yeah, I was
But
heavily involved in the
she was a
MySpace.
heavy, big MySpace girl, big
Well, and
MySpace
I
girl.
just like the thing is like I am so sad that I don't remember what my MySpace account is, or maybe I deleted it and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I can't find it because she had photos with Lisa Kudrow on there. She had photos with Flavor Flav, Mitchell Musso, like all these celebrities I met during that era, which is like the only time really I have met celebrities. I've had other encounters, but like that was like I was on and popping during the MySpace age with meeting celebrities because that's what my life was consumed of. And I have so many photos that I took on like a little digital camera, you know what I mean? And then
Mm-hmm.
just uploaded to MySpace that I no longer have. And so it's just really upsetting.
That is sad. Sidebar on Flavor Flav. I searched on Amazon Prime Video for The Flavor of Love. The first 2 seasons cost, which is sad. But did you even know there was a third season?
I don't think so.
No, I did not
That's
either. But
interesting.
there,
But
there is a third season, and it's free on Amazon Prime.
I was a big Flavor of Love girl. It was
Huge
so
Flavor of
funny.
Love girl.
This is like
Same.
this is real big sidebar, but so he was the first celebrity I ever met. I met him during one of the seasons. It had to have been like probably season 2 because I knew who he was. But it was
Mm-hmm.
during the airing of one of the seasons, and I was in 8th grade at the time. So I was watching that behind my parents' back because if they peeped an episode of Flavor of Love, they would not be letting their little child watch that show. But it was so funny because we were pulling up to our hotel in Los Angeles when we were moving to Arizona. And my mom, it was just me, my mom, and my sister. And my mom goes, "Katie, don't get disappointed if while we're in LA, you don't meet any celebrities or see
Mm-hmm.
any at all." And I looked at her and I'm like, "Mom, we're going to." She turns the corner and Flavor Flav is standing outside.
Was he wearing
And
a
then,
clock?
no, but he was wearing a gold chain with a naked girl on it.
Hmm. So just
It
as
was
good, I
like
guess.
a little sculpture. He definitely smelled like weed, but at the time I didn't know like what that smell was. But like
Couldn't
cir-
identify.
circling back, I absolutely know what was going on. And he told me to never give up on my dreams, and I've been inspired ever since. So
Love that. Shout out to
um
Flavor Flav.
that's just like a huge sidebar, but he was
An
in
important
those.
one though.
Oh, like that's probably one of the most iconic moments of my life, aside from talking to Nick Jonas on the phone. That was number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic.
Yeah. So moving on to like, okay, let's unpack Tumblr, I guess. Tumblr
Okay, so
came to me really late, like well beyond
really?
Facebook, maybe even Instagram. And like the way I approach Tumblr,
No, there's
I know,
no
but
way.
I didn't get involved. Like I saw Tumblr, I heard about it and I saw it, but I felt like for my current state, I wasn't artsy enough for Tumblr. Like it seemed like it was a place
Um,
for like, some strong like you really had to be committed to the game, and I wasn't there at that moment. And at one point I was like, oh, I'm just gonna post all my like cool pictures on there, not like
right.
the ones that were maybe like not cool for Instagram. I was gonna put on there, but I never really gave it a full on shot. You
Yo,
know,
I thought I was a
you were a Tumblr
goddamn,
girl.
I thought I was a hipster. I thought I was like the coolest girl that I had ever seen or known. It was the probably craziest time ever. I just remember like retweeting, reblogging. I don't know what it was called, but like reposting all of these things, like depending on what mood I was in. And then
Mm,
just like having, I think there was like question boxes too, like, hey, ask me questions. Like it was literally the OG Instagram story.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I don't know why I never had that exposure. It seemed like a cool place. Like it seemed like a place that I wanted to
no,
be, but I wasn't
it
there.
was like, well, but the thing is like it was a safe haven for all the depressed teenagers, which is just like so sad. But like it was such an escape. And I felt like I could just be like as moody as I wanted on
Mm-hmm.
Tumblr. And yeah, I loved it. I
Mm-hmm.
loved that shit.
Glad you
So
had that experience.
yeah, so totally. So Facebook, I think, was next, at least for me.
Mm-hmm. Same for me.
So
So
how
Facebook
did
seemed
you
like
navigate?
Facebook for me seemed like the first place that I was involved, like it was like the steps were pretty clear, like you shared your status. I think it at the beginning I was like a status boy, like I maybe had one or two every month. But then after like a year of it, I definitely didn't have a status. Like I was completely a ghost on Facebook, especially once Twitter became a thing. Like I never had a status. I only had like photos I was tagged in. I never uploaded photos, not once. And like to touch on like the parents trying to get involved in social media, my mom started getting involved on Facebook and try to monitor us. I was definitely locked all the way down. I had a private account, wouldn't add my mom. My mom, we were talking about this the other day. She had a fake Facebook account with like a friend from her high school or like a friend from her childhood. She used that name and added me. And then she got
Oh
through. Like
shit.
she had a little fake Facebook.
She was in there like swimwear. She was on
she
and popping.
she invented the Finsta. She invented Finsta. But she literally
Mama Etheridge is an icon. Shout
she
out, shout
cracked the
out,
code.
shout out.
I wish I could
I
remember the name because it was so
honestly,
funny.
I love that. I love that for her.
Yeah, so I
That's
accidentally
iconic.
added yeah, I accidentally added her fake her fake Facebook.
That
And so she
is
was spying on everything at that point.
that
But yeah,
is so iconic. You know what? I'm sure so many parents did that, and like nowadays I think that you don't, I mean, when I think about kind of like parenting my future children, like I don't think you'll really need to hide it just cuz it's so normal.
it is
Like
normal now,
I
for
think that
sure.
now it's like, because I think at the time parents probably didn't really know how to navigate the whole like
What seemed very young.
online, yeah, well, that and like online predators, like that kind of thing. I
Hmm.
think that there there was a huge fear for them. And while like I totally think they still exist, obviously, like they're people are fucking weird. But I think that now, especially our generation, as we are growing up and having children and stuff, it's like we were the pioneers. So like
Hmm.
step aside, we know how to navigate, we know how to parent this shit, like
For sure,
um
for sure.
yeah. And where I think that like our parents probably were like, oh my god, I don't know what this is, I don't understand. We like sent each other letters in the mail. Like
Hmm.
um
Something I just thought of because I did remember like the Facebook Messenger being kind of like a little flirtation situation. But even before that, during the
poking
MySpace, poking was
poking
a death. Yes. That was
I
definitely
was
like a
I was
flirt thing.
I was out there having 102-day poke wars with the cutest boys. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't that funny
I
though?
see you poking me. I think I must start. Can you still poke people? Like, I need to know this. I
I
think
don't
I'm gonna
know.
send someone a little pokey poke.
That's funny though. Yeah, I will like to I guess to conclude my story with Facebook is I no longer have Facebook. We've
I
separated.
know.
We've gone separate ways. And I like that. I'm proud of that, like cuz it's kind of I mean it is uncommon I think cuz it's like what's your social security number and what's your Facebook address, I guess. But
Yeah.
the only thing I miss is birthdays. Like I liked knowing some people's birthdays that I'm not super close with, or like if I needed a hot reminder when someone's birthday was. But other than that, it just became annoying because I was clearing the notification on my phone, so I had to say bye.
So Facebook birthdays are the reason that we thrive on Facebook. Like, bir- Facebook telling everyone's birthday is so productive because
It
one,
really is.
you won't forget your grandma's birthday, and
Mm-mm.
that's like just the most important thing. Two, it's a great little clean house. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you see it's like Hunter Moore's birthday and you have no idea who the F Hunter Moore
That's
is,
when they got the
you,
delete.
you give a little delete. You're like, happy birthday, bye.
That
It's
was
just
when
like
you cleaned up.
birthdays are the clean house. Like, I check whose birthday it is on Facebook every single day
Mm-hmm.
solely so that I can clean house. Because I mean, you're right. I think I looked yesterday because I was deep diving some like mental health stuff on Facebook, and I have over 1,000 friends on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't know you people. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing that's also hard, this is like super big sidebar, but the thing that's also hard now is like everyone's getting married. So I'm like, women are
Last
changing their
names.
last names, and
Yeah.
I gotta go check your picture to make sure that I do actually know you, or else I'm gonna accidentally delete you. But I mean, I still have a Facebook. I share the pod on there, and then I share when I post a blog. But I think beyond that, like I did a I did a fundraiser for the Loveland Foundation a few weeks ago, and like beyond that, I don't post statuses. However,
Mm-mm.
the I think one of the most fun things about Facebook in like current day is that it'll tell you the memories, and so it'll be like 12 years ago. Your status was Katie Henry is happy. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, why did I post that shit? Like,
Yeah, I
I
do.
think,
I do miss that, and I see a lot of people who get that, and they'll show me like, "Oh, look at this," and it is kind of nice.
yeah,
This pictures, like, I do miss a lot the cheer pictures because that was like. Now that I'm
yeah.
like thinking it's funny to be like, I would want to thumb through that again, and I'm missing all of those, and I can't recover any of them.
Yeah. So, what was next for you? Was it Twitter or Instagram?
Twitter, I think.
Okay. Yeah, same.
And Twitter was where I was like really expressive, and I was definitely like that was whenever I was like had an edgier sense of humor.
Totally.
Ran into my first social media scandal on Twitter.
Oh, do tell. Do
So,
tell.
do you know what Face in the Hole is?
No.
It was like,
I'm
at
not sure
least
I want to know. That sounds
I know it's
sketchy.
it does sound scary. So like
Like, we were just talking about booty holes the other week.
so Face in the Hole, it was this app a long time ago where it had all these images and then it had a hole in it and then you could put someone's face in it in that image and it just like would create it would look funny. It was just like a really easy way to Photoshop somebody on something funny.
Okay.
So there was this guy and like I knew this was going to be a conversation we are going to run to. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say his name. I would love to like kind of have a Carol Baskin with this man because he's a piece of shit. So this is a guy who had like a lot of he had like a strong influence over the cheer world in my little town. And so I was like he pursued me to hire me for like his like camp that he was hosting or something like that.
Yeah.
And he also hosted like cheer competitions. And so I said on Twitter, like, hey, I'm going to be there or be squared. And I put a face in the hole of him on this like baby stripper pole. And He found that. Like, I don't know how he when he was gonna hire me. And like on a scale of offensive, like that was not that offensive. But this guy has like a stick so far of his ass that like he was like he told me he was gonna press charges against me and like go through
We
like all this like stuff. And I was just like, my mom was just like, sis, like this is a college student who has no money. Like where are you going with this? But he also like would rent out the gym space at the place that I worked at where I did like a day camp for kids, and he tried to get me fired there. Like he worked really hard to try to like ruin something for me because he was so offended by that. And like I remember he couldn't get me fired because I was too good at my job. I would see him and I would just have that like stare and like I would make sure if I walked past him it would be slow. Man, I would walk so slow. And I would just be like, kids, let's not try to get too much in their way. And I want to like my goal. I honestly think of this sometimes. I want to make it so big that like I return back to my high school and I just like make sure I'm on a hot mic somewhere and remind people of what he did to me.
Let's go. That's
I know.
amazing.
But yeah, I had a big
Yeah.
scandal on there.
I think that Twitter is just like, I mean, I still have a Twitter. I know you have a Twitter, but like I'm the only person you really view on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Twitter is just like home base. Twitter was my next place that I frequented, and it's just like something about Twitter makes me overshare, like makes
Mm-hmm.
me just like say whatever is on my mind. It's gotten me in some trouble too, many a times. She's been known to subtweet in her day. I think that the craziest thing about Twitter, like when I'm thinking about current state, is like you can literally like go look at what people have favorited. Like
Mm-hmm. So
that.
when I popped back in, like when I recovered my count, I deleted every tweet and every like, every single one of them.
Oh
I
shit.
wiped that clean because I was like, I don't remember anything, you know?
I mean, that's smart. Yeah, I think that back in college, I think that I figured out how to do like search words that you've written. So I think I
Mm,
searched like the word bitch and the word fuck, and then I like any tweet that I tweeted in high school and stuff with those words, I went back and deleted because I was like, you were a naughty girl. Like I was just saying whatever I wanted when I was in high school, and like that's how people get into a sister scandal, and like
mm-hmm.
we're just like really not trying to do that. But I think that now Twitter is such a good resource. I get a lot of my like news and information from Twitter. I do
Same.
go th- I do go through spurts where I'll like take Twitter breaks. Like back in September, I deleted my Twitter for like 30 days because I think it officially deletes at 31. So I like
Mm,
reactivated, but it's like I'll take it down for a little while just so that like I can't actually just go back on. You know, I mean, I technically can, but then in my mind I'm like, okay, my Twitter is deleted.
right.
But I also feel like Twitter just like has some great memories for me on there. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing that's missing is like a on this date you tweeted this. I would love to
Mm-hmm.
have
That
that.
would be really strong, wouldn't it?
It would be so freaking good. And an edit function because your girl just will
Mm,
pop off with tweets and then I don't like spell check.
mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, ooh, she said we when she meant be. Like, come
Mm-hmm.
on.
See, I like definitely I got back on Twitter I think within the last 6 months, but I haven't tweeted anything. I do see like where I could fit into this, but I think I'm still just kind of like waiting for my moment, you know. In an episode before where it's just kind of like political or very sexual, like I could find a very good marketing space for me if I started posting some pictures on there.
Oh, you absolutely could you could thrive on Twitter. You
So
could
like I
thrive
think
on
I need to
Twitter.
clean up who's following me or try to make it a little bit yeah, a little bit stronger so I have more confidence, but I definitely think that that may be my moment, you know.
Just do a little like targeted hashtagging.
Yeah,
I
I got
feel
a
like,
couple of mine that I definitely think would work in my image.
yeah, you've just got to keep in mind like stands will come for you. So
Hmm.
just watch out.
I know you've learned the hard way for that.
She's been bullied.
Which I do want to, I guess, sidebar. We've talked a lot of shit about Selena on this pod, and a song that I'm really into right now is I just rediscovered it the other day on a meme, but it's that slow down song where she's like, "Put your body next to mine all night long, baby, slow
Yep.
down the song." That's a jam.
Oh no 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 no! Like don't get it twisted. I do love a good Selena Gomez moment. Like I have given her a lot of shit on this pod, but like also please know if you're
Constructive. It was
listening
all
to this,
constructive.
like me and one of my best friends, Tay, like we went and saw her with floor seats. I think we were sixth row. Like we stand Selena. It's just like when you're about to like think Selena's gonna pop off with a good album and it's a flop, like you're disappointed as hell. And I'm not gonna be unrealistic. Like the I think that the only people I will defend to the ground if they come out with a bad album and I'll be like, no, it's really good, are the Jonas Brothers or Ari. Like those are the
Mm,
two, or Britney. Like those are the three people that I will like stand to the death of me and like
mhm.
I will fight you. Like even if a song is a flop and it's just not happening for me, like What a Man Gotta Do by the Jonas Brothers, that just wasn't it. But it's like was I playing it on repeat in my sleep so that it would get some plays? Potentially. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah, I'm
will
not
help
there with anybody.
we will help them until death do us part. I'm
No,
just
I
a
love that.
big I'm a big teeny bopper girl. She's 26, but she's a big teeny bopper girl.
Is there anything else about Twitter that we need to unpack?
No, Twitter is just the best. In my opinion,
Yeah, I appreciate Twitter. Twitter.
Tweet. Wow, she's had a glass of
We're
wine or two.
struggling.
Twitter is probably the best social media app in my opinion.
It
So
has a you have a lot to gain and a lot to lose on Twitter.
totally, you can get in big trouble.
Yeah.
Big trouble. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some shit on Twitter, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But so next for me was Instagram. Did you
Same.
have anything in between?
Mm-mm. Can't think of
No.
anything. Instagram seemed to be next, and that was like right at the beginning of college, I think. Like,
Yeah, I think I was like a senior maybe in high school.
yeah, I think I
Maybe
just graduated.
maybe maybe I was either a senior or junior in high school whenever I got Instagram. And I think what I was going to ask you is, does your Instagram still have your first photo?
Mine, I think I had recently archived it, to be honest. And
Really?
I think so because the way I kind of set up my Instagram now is it's like all very naturey, you know? And
Um,
I archived a lot of the stuff. Remember whenever you had to like put the white borders on stuff to have like a long photo? Archived all
absolutely.
that
I'm
shit.
scrolling through it right now. I'm scrolling through
Yeah.
those moments. She
Yeah.
had a whiteogram.
So I'm checking to see because it may be where I just posted this like shitty picture of a dock when I was working at the marina.
Oh, you know
It's
what?
my first.
I was talking a lot of shit, but I think I archived my first Instagram too because my first post that I currently have is this. It's
Mm.
me, for those who can't see, it's me and my best friend from high school, Addie, kissing our friend Greg. Super high class. My first current photo on Instagram has 62 likes, so honestly pop off.
Hey, mine's at 72.
Oh shit. Okay, well, I'm just not on that level. No, but like I definitely I definitely archived my first post cuz I wouldn't delete that, I don't think.
So I think what the way I've got it set up now is I archived like almost everything that wasn't like kind of like decently well, I had to get rid of all the white borders ones, but then it's kind of just all naturey because that's all I do now, or that's all really post if it's like outdoors or something really fun like that. But then I left all of my like moments where I posted me as like a really young baby or like a kid. So like all of my
Totally.
first ones are just like child Dakota, and
Children.
then it just goes straight nature to like everything else. So and I like that because it's just like, oh, did he have a Instagram when he was like 2 or what's going on?
We love that for you. An
Mm-hmm.
icon, a pioneer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, Instagram has obviously heavily evolved. I
Mm-hmm.
think aesthetic is like a huge thing nowadays. But I also think that, like, as I get a little bit older, like, and I'm not in college, like, though I am trying to, like, still make it look aesthetically pleasing for, like, hopes of a future career
Mm-hmm.
outside of a warehouse, like, I still want it to look nice, but I think I'm a little bit more forgiving when I want to post something, just because I know I can archive it later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I can like pop off for some likes just so that like people know. But
Mm-hmm.
then I can archive it if it doesn't look nice. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
feel that. Yeah, I think, I mean, for me, I don't even really take pictures unless I'm in a moment where it's like Insta worthy in my head. You know what I mean? Like if I'm, it's like a kind of like a vacation highlight reel or like a weekend getaway highlight reel. The way that
Yeah.
I've just approached it, because I'm
Yeah.
not like hanging out with my friends taking selfies, even though I'm not trying to shame anyone who does that. But
Which is me.
yeah,
My Instagram is literally selfies because I have nothing better to do. It's just like mirror pics and selfies. But like honestly, I'm popping off and I don't care.
yeah, no, I appreciate yours. I kind of like my ratio too of how many pictures I feature of just like friends, because that's I think that's like a cool thing that I appreciate.
I think I like my way I like navigate my like top 9 grid, or I don't know if people can see top 9 or top 12, whatever. But like
Mm-hmm.
I always try to have at least like one or two pics that are with someone else, so it's not all just like, hey, it's just me. But
Mm-hmm.
quarantine has like put a little bump in the road in that, and where like I'm not hanging out with anyone. So,
Mm-hmm. Something that I did do that's a little fun for me is the little story highlights.
oh, I love a good highlight.
So I have them kind of like in the same way where they're all like nature stuff, like, and they're all emojis. So I have a snowflake, a sun, and then like a little island with a palm tree. But then I have this one that it's got the little arm flex, and like it's a very clear that it's like a shirtless picture highlight one. So like I have me like just in case anyone needs to or is like curious about it, there's a
Yeah.
couple of shirtless ones there, just
Okay, pop
ready to go
off.
at the top. Easy
Pop off.
access. Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's a good idea. Like, just in case you want to stalk, like, I mean, mine's right in front of your fucking face because honestly, I'm thirsty. I'm
Right. I
willing to
mean, we
say it.
all.
I
I
just,
do unfortunately need to change my
every,
profile picture.
every once in a while, she needs a little toot toot, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, and that every once in a while might be once a week. I don't know.
But I mean, for Instagram, it's been a very easy road. Like I haven't gotten in any trouble. There's no like I haven't there's not really much going on Instagram that's like troublesome.
Okay, current state, but we used to have the following page where you could see who was active. And
Mm.
I know you and I have already talked about this a little bit, but that shit would drive me crazy.
Oh, I lived on that page if I was trying to talk to somebody, for sure, for sure.
Oh, me too. If I saw my boyfriend or like my ex-boyfriend, whatever, like whatever state they were in, like if I saw they were like online liking some stuff and we were still talking and they were liking little Tiffany's titties, like we had to talk.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that place was like that was a war zone for sure. I didn't like that. I'm glad it's
yeah,
gone.
totally. And that
It's
leads
better that it's
me
gone.
yeah, Tiffany's titties leads me into Snapchat.
Thank you.
So
I'm glad that you because Snapchat is not a great place for me.
Snapchat is where shit goes down, to be quite honest. So
We haven't
um
even talked we've never talked about this before.
Nope. So I want to like start this little thing off with a story about one of my ex-boyfriends. And, you know, we try not to discuss our ex-boyfriends on here because that can be problematic, but this one, I could give a fuck. So, um, back in the day, whenever you could see the top three. My
Okay, I forgot about that, but yeah.
Yep. So you could see the top three friends, which honestly, they should bring it back. I would love for some hoes to be exposed because honestly, I just want to know. But
Hmm.
so anyways, my boyfriend and I at the time were long distance for the summer. We had just started dating and he lived in New York. Honestly, I am just like being very specific. Everyone will know. Everyone will know who this person is. But so we had just started dating at the end of my sophomore year of college, and he was going back to New York for the summer. And so while he's in New York, I had planned to go visit him, and then he was playing in a soccer tournament in California, so I was going to see him throughout the summer. But while he was at home, it was probably like a week or so before I was going to go visit him. I checked his like best friends, is what it was.
Mm.
And it was me as number one because, you know, she was popping off, sending her titties, like all those things. Um,
Just being
um,
a good girl.
yep. And then number two was this other girl. And I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, I almost just said his name. I'm like, well, I mean, like, what does it really matter? I'm like,
Yeah, you're
Angelo,
right.
who is this girl? And he was like, oh, like she's just my friend, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, like, so why is she your number two person on Snapchat a week before I'm coming to visit you? And you and I have only been officially dating for, you know, a couple of weeks or whatever. And he's like, oh no, like she's totally just my friend from high school. Like, I think he was like, yeah, we used to like hook up or whatever, but like nothing big. And I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
like copy. Let me just go fuck myself. And then he's like, I'm like, so okay, so why is she your number two Snapchat best friend? Like, and he goes, well, I only use Snapchat to Snapchat you, but she got a bunny this week and she was sending me pictures of her bunny. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so sure. And him and I think actually I may have discovered it not a week before I was visiting, but I think I discovered it while I was
You were
visiting.
there. How
I'm
did that
pretty
end?
sure. I'm pretty sure because I kind of remember like laying in his bed with like my back to him, being like, F you, like we are not
Hmm.
doing anything tonight. I was pissed. And then I think like the next day, it was for sure actually when I discovered it while I was there. The next day, we went to one of his friends' house party and she was there. And I'm like, all right, pop off.
Hmm.
I was
That's crazy.
pissed. Yeah, you said how did it end? He broke up with me the day I was flying out to my uncle's funeral. So also pop off.
He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, shout out. We love him.
Yeah, I think for me, Snapchat
I
has
just like really went off.
I this is a safe place. This is I think for me,
This is a safe space between you, me, and hundreds of
everyone else. Yeah.
listeners. We love that
Um
for us.
right. So I think Snapchat has definitely evolved over the years. Not necessarily I don't even really know how to explain it. I'm not sure if I'm like proud of my presence on Snapchat or what I've like used it for. But I think beforehand Snapchat was just like a fun little cutesy place to send like pictures of what you're up to your friends and
Totally.
stuff. I was away from Snapchat for quite a while. I think now
Are
Snapchat is
you back on
definitely
Snapchat?
I'm on Snapchat here and there, but
We're
it's kind
not
of like
friends.
it's
Oh, is
not
it
like
nudes? It's
it's
nudes. I send
she's
nudes
a,
on Snapchat too. Shout
yeah,
out to my
she's
mom. Sorry, mom.
yeah, Snapchat is like kind of a naughty place now. You know what I mean? Like
Snapchat.
I think if I was friends with you like back in the heyday,
Totally.
I like have feared the day that I accidentally send a picture to like someone that I was friends with, like, like actually friends with.
Oh, I've
Um,
done it. I've done it.
yeah, yeah, that's something that I've definitely feared. I've thought about removing just everybody from Snapchat,
Except for
but
those you're trying to pop off on.
yeah. But like that
Honestly,
definitely is
it's
what
like
Snapchat's used for now, don't you think? Like I kind of use
honestly,
it as
yeah.
like the placeholder because it's like I don't want to give you my number just yet. So like here's my Snapchat, but then also it's just kind of like a temperature gauge of like what's going on here, like you know,
So so the
as far as like what
problem
kind of like hangout situation is about to go down.
yeah, so I kind of think like the problem or maybe it's the solution, I guess, with Snapchat is like where you do find out if you're interested or someone in someone or not. My thing is though, like taking it off like dating apps or something, like I personally hate when a guy is like, "Oh, what's your snap?" Like little
Mm.
tongue emoji and I'm like, "Oh, you just want to see my titties." And it's like I know and I'm fully confident in my little titties, but like I'm not gonna share them with little Joe Schmo. You know what I mean? Like just because I'm
Hmm.
bored. It's like they're only for like the special specific people.
Hmm.
Um, but Snapchat definitely is the place to like pop off on those.
I mean, that's what it's for now. I
Yeah,
would
yeah, yeah, yeah.
say.
Oh, I mean, fully. I think that's what most people on Snapchat
Which like
are.
say what you will about doing that, like sending a nude, but like I feel like that's where I've like found an appreciation for my body, you know?
Oh, Snapchat has made me the most confident. It's like when I'm feeling sad, we just like send a little nudie, you know?
It is kind of it's a problem though because it's like an affirmative moment, you know?
Totally. Yeah.
So
Well, and then it's just like sometimes like you open a little D pic and your data is next to you and you're like, well, shit.
yeah, you know who you're allowed to open in public and who you're not allowed to open in public.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're on the same page with that because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, totally. I think Snapchat's for private matters only.
Hmm. Other than
Well,
that, like I can't think of anything after Snapchat. Like I think YouTube is in its own space. Like I think we both have played around with YouTube a little bit, and I think we're going to be playing around with YouTube a lot more in the future.
totally.
TikTok is next. Like I'm not really big on TikTok. I have like my TikTok handle because you know I'm a businesswoman and like I make sure I capture
Totally.
my handles before they get stolen. But
Absolutely.
I'm not there to like to choreograph anything yet, but who's to say I won't do that once I'm out in the wild and trying to make little neat aesthetic nature pictures or videos.
Totally. I love that for you.
I know you're a good little TikToker though.
I've been off my game. I haven't really like recorded my own little lip syncing moments lately, but I definitely do like slide through and watch some people's TikToks. It's just like a
Hmm.
little like form of entertainment, but I don't
Did you
know.
ever have Vine or were you ever like a did you ever actually like
Yeah, yeah,
perform
yeah.
on Vine?
Absolutely. I wish that the app, like, I wish I still had some of the vines because, like, me and my friend Corey would like actively make TikTok or vines. We made one
Hmm.
while we met Cody Simpson,
Oh
and that was
wow.
like, I mean, now he's dating Miley, so pop off.
Shout out.
I've said
Honorable.
I've said pop off 75 times in this podcast episode, and that's not even in my vocabulary, so I don't know what's going on.
You say it a lot, I've noticed recently.
Yeah, it's just like a new thing, I think.
An honorable mention is do you remember Yik Yak?
Wait, it's so funny you say that because whenever we were talking earlier about one of the apps, I was like, don't forget to bring up Yik Yak.
Hmm.
And I did forget. Yik Yak was a dirty motherfucking place in college. Like that was where people like slayed each other, or like
Hmm.
sorority versus sorority. They would be like those dirty skanks of Kappa Kappa Theta. You
See,
know,
I know I like checked out Yik Yak, I think when I was in high school. I think it was available at the time because I don't remember getting involved in it in like college. I never
right?
amused myself with anything like that in college. But yeah, that was a war zone. That was really a dangerous place. Like
Oh,
I was happy to not be on there.
so Yik Yak was a terrifying place where you could just like really ruin some people's lives, but something that is like very specific to Arizona State, and I don't think that anyone else had this, but in college we had what was called ASU Confessions, and
I
it
think
was
everywhere
on.
kind of had something like that. I remember something similar.
So it was on, I think it was on Facebook, and then they made like a
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the ASU Confessions, like people could submit things anonymously,
I remember
and
that.
like I would like, I think everyone, especially from my age, would like frequently look at it. Well, one day I specifically remember being at my like my job at some like golf vacation home company, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see my name and my best friend's name. And I'm like, it was like my biggest fear to be put
Mm-hmm.
on ASU Confessions, because it's like, what can you do? Like, people are going after you. My ASU confession that was submitted was that someone was saying that they wanted to have a threesome with my best friend.
Oh wow. Shout out.
So the person never came forward, so we never actioned on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that was the ASU confession. And then I think our pictures got posted on there, maybe because of that. I don't really know. And then someone called my best friend a Smurf and me an Oompa Loompa because she loved to be way too tan, like not a natural tan. She loved to be like scary tan. And so
She
they would
was
like,
dark.
yeah, so they loved to rip me apart and call me an Oompa Loompa. And those were, I think, my two times that I was ever on ASU confessions, but like, honestly, quote unquote, pop off.
Yeah, but any publicity is good publicity, am I right?
Totally. I mean, if my two publicities are people wanting to have a threesome with me and then also being an Oompa Loompa, like, go off, sis.
So something kind of similar to like the confessions page, something that one of my friends and I did in college is we started this thing and it went viral at Baylor, is we called it was Baylor Cupid. And what we did is we started this account where we would take submissions from people to like request them be like put together by the Baylor Cupid account, and we would like pick stitch two different people together to where like the guy was on one side and the girl was on the other side, and then we would write this like short little like status or caption of as far as like why they are now like destined to be together. But we would take like a little
That's
drama moments
amazing.
where people would like secretly hook up at a party, or there was just like a little flirtation situation going on, and then we kind of would like make it be known. So it was all
It's like
slightly.
Gossip Girl, kind of.
It really was. I mean,
Like
I've
low
never
key.
watched Gossip Girl, but it was like it was all based on truth, but then it was just kind of like all like a comedy like page where we had Baylor Cupid. We even posted like a Baylor Cupid one of me just to kind of like throw people off to ensure
Yeah,
that like they wouldn't assume it was me. No one to this day, like no one ever figured out. And every now and then, like I would talk to someone from Baylor, like and bring that up and be like, "Yo, like, did you know that me and Courtney did this or whatever?"
that's
um,
amazing. That's
yeah, it was really
iconic.
funny. Yeah,
So
it was a nice little.
you were like secretly doing it. That's
It was
amazing.
like there was nothing in it for us other than just like the power of the account, which is
I
cool.
love that. I love
Yeah,
that. You know what? I'm
yeah,
gonna start doing that on Twitter. I'm gonna make a
yeah.
fake account and be like adult dating. I need to come up with a more creative idea name, but we're doing it. I'm he-
It's fun.
I'm here for being the adult gossip girl.
Just do like Scottsdale Cupid or something like that.
Quarter life gossip of
Yeah.
Scottsdale. If y'all see that account, it's not me, I swear.
I can't think of any other like social medias that I'm like been true to, you know?
Me
Any other
either.
honorable
No,
mentions that you can think of?
nah. I think that that kind of like puts
Sums her
this
up.
little present with a bow. You know what I
Under the
mean?
tree. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Have a great day, everyone, and honestly, peace and blessings. Have a good
Mm-hmm.
day.
Bye.